Oh, hello! Once again, Michael Babbitt bringing you a new tutorial on how to create your own sidechain compression style of effect using only Stylus RMX and Omnisphere. So without further ado, let's click on the patch browser and in the search box type in 1.2 and this will pull up all the version 1.2 patches, brand new. Now we can click on our lock icon here. This is also a new feature, and this will lock in our search results so that when we browse through Omnisphere, we won't lose them. Let's click on the glorious harmonic fifths patch and load that bad boy in. Then navigate to the edit page. And finally, let's zoom in the envelopes and select our modulation 1 button. Okay, by default we get the stair-step modulation envelope, but I'm going to replace this with, ta-da, a MIDI groove from Stylus RMX. So let's click on the browser. We're going to go to the core library, and from the drop-down select Groove Elements. Then click on the 4 on the floor kick suite, and then finally scroll down and select the centrifuge kick element. Nice even 4 on the floor pattern. Make sure you've got your host sync button enabled so that you can sync Stylus RMX up perfectly with Omnisphere, and grab now the MIDI information and drop it directly onto the envelope. Yay, look what's been created for you. It's the 4 on the floor kick pattern perfectly synchronized as groove envelopes. But we're not done yet because these current envelopes are synchronized to hit on the beat. We need them to be syncopated. So we want to look at our modulation matrix. So let's click on the modulation matrix zoom. And now we can see all of our modulation assignments. By default, the mod wheel is controlling the LFO1 depth. So when I play and move the mod wheel, it sounds like this. Oh yes, that additional motion is definitely going to add to the diversity of this patch we're creating. So now let us add a new source. This is going to be the modulation 1 envelope that we created with that kick drum. Bring up the depth all the way, and as a target, we're going to modulate amplitude. Now we want to invert this so that it goes opposite of the kick drum. So it doesn't hit on one, it actually is syncopated. Okay? Now because there are 2 layers here, we want to select the second layer and repeat the process. So once again, modulation 1 envelope, bring up the depth, then select amplitude, and finally, invert those envelopes. And here's what we get. That's starting to sound pretty tasty. Let's hear it in context now with the kick drum, and I'm going to move the modulation wheel so that you can hear the diversity of this patch we just created. So as you can hear and see, this is a great way to emulate that sidechain compression effect for dance music using Stylus RMX and groove envelopes in Omnisphere. Now go make some music.